On the following problem, it says, which of the following graphs is wider? We're looking for one graph that's wider than the one that's given. Now, to compare if two graphs are narrow and wider, we don't really, the location of the graph doesn't matter. So we're going to get rid of the h and the k because that's not going to determine whether it's wider or narrow. The value that will determine whether it's wide or narrow will be the a value, so in this case will be 1 over 1. Now, you can use a graph that is right next to the problem, or you can just create your own graph in a very quick process. Using UID, I'm going to place my x, my y and x intercepts. Then I'm just going to make my lines with my pencil. Make sure that you make them wide enough so you can actually do the work. I'm just going to do 5 or maybe 6 or maybe 7. 5 should be fine. Then I'm going to rotate my paper and I'm going to go through the same process. Make sure that I make them, at least try to make them the same size. And it's a very quick process. It doesn't take long, and you end up with a very nice graph. And it kind of saves you a lot of headaches as you are comparing the translation between the points. You just rotate it again, and you go through the same process. You slide your ID down. And let's do one more. Then you rotate your paper again and you go through the same process. And we have a very nice graph that we can use for this problem. We need to be able to compare how wide do the graphs open. Now on the first one, I'm going to do it in black. So for this one, I'm going to do it in black. My slope is 1 over 1. Now remember, the location doesn't matter, so we're going to assume that 0, 0. My slope is up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1. And I'm going to do the same thing on the left hand side. Remember, whenever you see an absolute value, that means that it's going to be a v. And we learn in class why that is the case. You can always refer back to the video that I posted to check why is a v. Now on the next one, a, I'm not going to do it in red. So up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To the left 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm looking for one that is wider, and I think we found it. Now if we check the other ones quickly, this slope, the a value is just 1 over 1, so it will be exactly the same width. And the last one, letter D, remember, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. We don't want to graph it down because it's going to be very difficult to compare. So we're going to assume that's up 3 to the right 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And it's nice if you repeat it more than once. 1, 2, 3, and over 2. Notice that this graph will be narrower than the black one. We are comparing it to the black one. So the only one that is wider is letter A. Therefore, letter A is your answer.